is a big freaking deal. God of hope manifested itself.
We're ready for the word. We're excited. We're actually hungry for the word.
Right now, hope is something that is the only thing that we really have.
But, that's why I just need to ask a question.
Okay, and let's get this parlay popping.
Is being hopeless, like hopelessness, is that the same thing as having no faith?
It says in Hebrews 11:1, now faith is the substance of things hoped for, the evidence of things not seen. Everybody that's watching me tonight, I want you to understand that this is a declaration of the action of faith. Faith is not just a thing. It's not just a noun. It's not just a thought. Faith becomes a verb because of hope. You ought not think of the two separate and apart from one another. It's almost like saying if your tire is flat, will your engine still work? What is a good engine without inflated tires? But we need to understand that those two don't compete. Those two work hand in hand. You cannot have faith without hope. Because hope is what fuels your faith.
My question is, in the midst of trying to encourage someone who seems to be getting smacked around by life, how do you posit hope into that?
Philippians chapter 4, verse 8. Finally, brethren, whatsoever things are true, whatsoever things are honest, whatsoever things are pure, if there be any virtue, and if there be any praise, think on these things. For people who cannot seem to get it together, the one thing that will help you in the midst of hopelessness is praise. And if I can still hear God, God can still hear me.
My Lord!
Come on, somebody. The scripture said, if there be any praise,
Any.
it may not be your best praise.
My God.
It may not be a lot.
It may not be your I'm everything, I'm okay praise.
Come on.
It may not be your I'm in a wealthy place praise.
Come on.
It can just simply be God, don't let me down. The scripture says if there be any praise you want, that means it can be a piece of a praise. That means it could be a dry praise. How that means it could be a cry praise. But if you can find it within yourself to just say hallelujah, somewhere in between the hallelujah and in between the luya, somewhere in there, in the somewhere in there, God is going to work something out.
Come on.
Keep talking.
Huh? Whatsoever. That's what you're going to tell them. And that's what hope is. Hope is believing that the best is yet to come.
What the question that comes to mind for me is, have people misplaced their hope? Because sometimes, you know what, as the hope deferred makes the heart sick, do we ever sit and think, have we put our hope in the wrong things to begin with?
You know, I see this, that all hope outside of Christ is never going to be realized. We put too much, even if you put an ounce of hope in the wrong thing outside of Christ, if you misappropriate your hope, then what you are doing is you're saying, God, I'm gonna try to make it outside of you. We got unemployment before God. Huh? We got our paychecks before God. We have our relationships before God. We have these plans, and we put our hope in these degrees that we have. We put our hope in these jobs that we have. And then something like COVID-19 comes, and it reminds you that everything that you think is sustaining you can actually be taken away from you. Even the sources of the source still need a source. And that's why God is supposed to be our everlasting hope.